start with a couple of updates. Britney Spears' father may have to leave his position now as the conservator. Big suspension is sort of what they're calling it, but he's not happy about it. His attorney, Vivian Thoreen, issued a long statement. Part of it read, "For 13 years, he has tried to do what's in Britney's best interest, whether as a conservator or a father. For anyone who has tried to help a family member dealing with mental health issues."
Have you guys watched that doc on Netflix?
Not the newest one?
I think so.
No.
I watched
It's
probably
real
about
good.
45
Yeah,
minutes
okay.
of it. You'll learn to hate him.
Ooh,
Oh,
this is evil.
done and done. Everybody already hates him.
It's also anytime there's like, here's a picture of me being baptized in the Sea of Galilee. And then later on, he's sitting out in his car and some TMZ's talking to him. He's like, hey, fuck you. Get the fuck out of here, douche.
boy.
You're like, all right, I don't mind that part. I mind the baptism part.
Yes, that's the
You know what I mean?
offensive
Like,
part.
One or the other.
Right. No, and I think a lot of people are already on board with strongly disliking him. After
Well,
listing,
they were like in the doc, and look, they can cook docs
Sure.
these days. We're now learning that they do kind of cook them a little bit, but they had like things like her having dementia, and then basically the conservatorship is for those who can't take care of themselves, that can no longer work.
Exactly.
For instance, and she'd be fucking writing an album and choreographing everything.
Exactly.
It's like, I think she's capable of working.
Yeah, from what I understand, there are two types of conservatorship, and the one that she was given was like no professional would have ever bet that they would have given her this one. This is the one when you are mentally and physically incapacitated. You're not churning out albums and going on tour.
Right. Also, one of the more fucked up aspects of it is like she shows up to court with her lawyer, and they're like, you can't have your lawyer with you. You're not capable of deciding on what lawyer to have.
And I was listening to, I don't know, maybe the Daily, I think the New York Times podcast, I think it was yesterday, and they said that they're interviewing all these people, and not only was her phone tapped, but you heard this, the security guards, her father, everybody had access to not only just her friends and stuff, but the conversations between she and her lawyer. Because when the security guard would say, look, this is what the client wants, the client's not Britney, the client is Jamie.
Right.
Yeah.
So they basically, since they felt out of control that they couldn't look at her phone, they figured out how to hook up an iPad to read everything.
And mirror
on the phone.
it.
I mean, can you imagine the evil in that?
Yes.
And so, yeah, he's bad.
Yeah, so it's like, if you're doing like an IT thing and the guy, you're on the phone, he said, can I get into your computer and mirror it? That's what they were doing with her stuff. So after listing some of his accomplishments, the statement concludes, these facts make the outcome of yesterday's hearing all the more disappointing and, frankly, a loss for Britney. Respectfully, the court was wrong to suspend Mr. Spears, but put a stranger in his place to manage Britney's estate and extend the very conservatorship that Britney begged the court to terminate earlier this summer. So Britney basically saying, as long as it's not Jamie, it's a win. And that's, I don't know what more of a cry for help. She's not saying like, I'm fine, fuck it. She's like, look, I know I'm not getting out of this, but you got to get rid of my dad.
Well, and also, I think it's suspicious when a dad names a kid after himself.
Yeah.
Like, dude, he has a daughter named Jamie Lynn.
Yeah.
Ew. So, yeah, he's a dick from the start. I hate him.
That's a bad sign.
Yep.
Yeah. What's
not
her
great.
Jill name?
Jean,
that's
I
right.
think she's Britney Jean.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know.
She seems super fucking creepy and weird, and you go, no one sheds a tear for him, but I don't know. You don't have a relationship with your daughter, and everyone knows it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my dad, he doesn't have a great relationship with my sister, but I'm the only one who announces it. You know what I mean? Thank God I'm here.
It's only you and the
If not for me, how would the world know that he
That's
was
true.
a
Thank God for
deadbeat
you.
dad,
That's right.
But I mean, this is front page. I mean, it's just got to be weird. Like, that's your daughter. That's your little girl. Everyone hates you. She hates you. She's suing you. You're suing her. Like, that's got to be the worst cosmic hand to ever receive, right?
And remember who used to be that person that we talked about every day in the news?
Joe Jackson.
Yes, and Dina Lohan.
Oh, Dina Lohan.
There was
that's
never,
right.
There was
Yes.
so much Dina Lohan talk.
I miss her. A redhead.
I actually,
There you go.
the reason why I thought of her was I think there was a news story where she got popped for another DUI. So I don't know if she's doing super well, but I don't know.
and her dad didn't turn out to be any great
Didn't he go to
shakes
prison?
either,
Yeah,
right?
he did. Mhm.
Yeah.
And I think she got, I need to look this up. I think she might have gotten popped at the Outback Steakhouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, speaking of which,
That's
my
the
mom's
bottom
favorite.
Of the bottom of the Cracker Barrel.
Ever
What do
eat
you
at an
think-
Outback Steakhouse?
Oh, 100%.
Oh, really? I've never
I
been
feel
there.
things. If a lot of people put down chain restaurants, and I'm like, there's a reason they're a chain because they're fucking great. So I will eat the fuck out of anything that comes from something that has at least 5 franchise. I like the McRib, by the way, because a story came out about them today. I don't know if you did it in your extensive research.
No.
About pig hearts and different things being in that, and I'm like, then pig hearts taste fucking great.
Yeah, then we know that.
I don't
goddamn
get it.
delicious.
I don't. Thank you. So bring on the McRib.
Is it back or do they
Yeah,
bring
it's
it
only
back?
there's
Oh.
always like the McRib tracker app.
And there's
Is it
that?
really?
Yes, and the
it's-
Shamrock
that
Shake.
and the Shamrock Shake
Yeah.
are the two that...
They just keep recurring. It's a special thing every year when they come back.
Right.
Right. It's called the McRib Locator. Most recent sighting in Luxembourg.
I wonder with the McRib coming back.
Live show.
Yeah.
You know, they say guys with like arthritic knees know when it's going to rain.
Right,
I
yeah.
wonder if fat asses get a feeling. You
I
know
can
what
say
Like
as
an
a former
Indian, you know?
former fat ass, I did, and I would like to shamelessly do another roast joke that I'm just they occur to me when you mention these things. I remember once when we were roasting somebody at the Friars Club. You know, those are like those closed door roast 1,500 people and not televised. And that fuck Al Roker. When he was fat, he used to say he was coming, so you'd write all these Al Roker jokes, and then he wouldn't show up.
Oh,
So
a fat
guess
black
what
guy,
I did? Okay,
fat
guess-
and black.
I
I mean,
know.
two of the greatest
So
things
guess-
to make fun of,
so
right?
guess what I
the
did?
Reese's peanut butter cup of comedy.
I had a joke that would work either way. I said, Al Roker couldn't be here today because he heard they were re-releasing the McRib.
Perfect.
It was covered either way. But boy, oh boy, I love when you remember these tidbits and denouements.
By all means, jump in at any moment
Thank
with
you,
a
darling.
roast joke that you remember. Let's do another follow-up. And, Gabby Petito news ain't going anywhere because of us, the problem media.
Right. Mhm.
So let's talk about how Dog the Bounty Hunter has gotten himself involved. He is working with
You should
investigators.
hunt down some conditioner.
Good.
At some
Some hair
point,
serum.
he should really put his considerable talents
Yeah.
toward finding a leave-in conditioner. That would be the greatest find of his storied career.
That's true. That's true. He is teamed up with investigators, and they're honing in, he says, on portions of the Appalachian Trail in North Carolina as they continue to search for Brian Laundrie. You know, he's on the lam, who's now wanted on bank fraud charges after his fiancée Gabby was found dead in Wyoming. So Dog says he's hot on Brian's trail. He says Gabby's fiancé is alive, that he's close to finding the fugitive. Sources tell TMZ that Dog and his team are on a remote island, I guess off in North Carolina, where he says Laundrie is hiding. But as of Wednesday, the search has been going slow because of the terrain being rugged, but he's there and he thinks he's going to capture him.
How does Dog get his wheelchair up that terrain?
Yeah, he's not a
Because
young
he
man.
old as fuck.
That's true.
Did his wife pass?
Yeah,
Beth
she did.
died and he got remarried.
Oh, really?
Good for
Yeah,
him.
he just recently got remarried.
Good.
See, it makes me almost hesitate to tell a Mrs. Dog the Bounty Hunter joke I have, which is Nutrisystem. Ew, that boxed food tastes like Mrs. Dog the Bounty Hunter's snatch hole. Just saying. I
Yeah,
hesitate to
too
do that
soon.
joke. Too
Yeah.
soon. It's only been 7 years.
So if anyone's going to find this man, we'll keep you updated on Dog. Talk about finding somebody. Oh, my God. This 96-year-old German woman fled her nursing home and hung out and took a
Argentina.
taxi.
Oh,
Close. The Showa Foundation took a taxi to an underground station and was missing for a long time. They finally found her. Why did she do that? Well, she's up for war crimes for
Yeah.
being a secretary at one of the concentration camps.
I wasn't that far off.
That's why I said the Showa
You're
Foundation.
intuitive.
The girls from Brazil.
So she, they had an arrest warrant. Her name's Ermegard Fuchner,
Oh, that's trouble.
where they found her hours and after they wanted her arrested. The trial. She was a former secretary. She was set to start this trial on Thursday. She's suspected of having aided and abetted 11,387 cases of murder.
Oh, God.
Ferkner faces trial before a juvenile court chamber because she was an adolescent at the time of the alleged offenses. She's one of the first women to go on trial in decades for these Nazi-era crimes. By the way, also next Thursday, a trial against a 100-year-old SS guard at the former Nazi concentration camp, Schausenhausen, which I've never heard of. That's also due to start. So
I wonder, like with the 100-year-olds, like back in the day with Nuremberg trial, they would put the cyanide capsule like under their cheek, right? And they just bite down on it and they just die. But I wonder if like you're 100 now, it's just like, well, step into this bathtub without the skid pads on it and just go out.
No rail.
Just take yourself out. No grab bar. No daisy-shaped skid pads on there. Just try to take a shower. Helmet. Go ahead. Just go out with dignity. At 100, he's not coming out of that bathroom.
No, not by himself. And don't you think by the time you're 96, you're like, I'm good. They're never going to find me.
Well,
Guaranteed.
also, far be it from me to support the Nazis in any way, but I'll make the same argument I made with Chris Harrison from The Bachelor. Like, she was there, but she wasn't doing it. She was underage. Well, look, you cannot. If you're 17,
I'm trying to do the math.
Maybe
I'm
she could be
following you.
16. Everyone's a fucking retro hero.
Yeah.
Like, I would have stood up to Adolf Hitler. I would have told that Rommel to fucking pack that fucking Jeep up his ass. Go ahead and shoot me. I'm 16. I'm not participating in this shit.
Couldn't you flee?
I guess.
Go
I
to
don't-
your
Another
country?
country. I mean, think about how brave you'd have to be.
Where would you
guess.
go?
If only there was a young brave girl that we knew about in history that would do such a thing.
Well, you would flee somewhere that was Nazi occupied, and then they would find you. Like I'm saying, look, take out many of the people that made the executive orders, but this is like
check out the Wannsee conference.
when
accounts
Halliburton
payable.
pollutes a river or something. This I don't want the factory floor guys prosecuted. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, you did say she was a secretary, so
Yes.
I was wondering, like, how much she was actually involved.
And how much say she had in her own role. Like,
Everyone knows the secretary doesn't get any say, so I say let her go.
I didn't realize I was doing this show with so many Nazi apologists.
She's a fucking Kelly girl, for Christ's sake. Cut her some slack.
I think she was a temp.
Yeah, she's probably a
Like
temp.
there for the day.
She could have been working for an advertising place for all we know, but she just fucking went to the.
That was a
outlet.
bad choice that day.
I was wrong.
Well, I mean, it's like she's female.
Yeah.
This is 1943
39,
or whatever, and she's underage.
Yeah.
They're fucking. She's gonna do what they tell her to do, or they'll kill her parents, or they'll kill her. Like.
And you got to respect a 96-year-old that's spry enough to
Yeah, I like that.
Basically kidnap herself and have everybody looking for her and, take a taxi
How
on
did
her
she get
own.
wind that they were looking for her? Well, who tipped her off?
I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, but this dovetails nicely into this story. It's ridiculous. James Woods loved it, which is what got my attention. Have you heard? It sounds like a joke, but the drunk Turkish guy that was,
Look for himself?
Yeah, so he spent hours helping look for a missing person with this search and rescue party before realizing they were looking for him. The Daily Mail reports that Beyhan Mutlu had been drinking with friends when he wandered off into the woods. His wife was unable to contact him. He was 50 years old. After a few hours, she decided to call the police. So he's roaming the woods. He comes across this search and rescue group of these volunteers, and he's like, I'd love to help you look. He inadvertently joins the search party. Only when one of the rescuers shouted his name and he's like, yes, they all realized the error. The rescue workers gave him a lift home. Not clear if he was reprimanded for these actions. In 2012, an Asian tourist who went missing in Iceland was found in her own search party after she failed to recognize her own description released by the police.
Was she drunk too?
That's a good question.
I know.
I wonder if this is like a pattern, like if his wife plans a surprise party and he walks in the front door and everyone else yells surprise and he goes, oh, let me hide behind the sofa.
What are we here for?
Sorry.
Get down.
Get down. It's your birthday. I know, but somebody's coming here who shares my birthday.
We all make jokes. We all laugh. We even have our own PSA about restless cock syndrome.
RCS.
RCS. Very seriously so.
Wait, what does it do when
Actually,
it's
can
restless?
we find that? Can we find the PSA? It's, restless leg syndrome
Yes,
became
sure.
a thing. Well, the less spoken about restless cock syndrome affects men all over the world. They're too ashamed to speak out. We have a PSA.
We live in the shadows.
Yeah, and it's high time that they come out and they speak freely.
Certainly.
You got it?
There it is.
Okay.
I thought I was the only one.
I told myself I was in control.
It was constant, unrelenting.
I felt trapped, helpless.
I just can't make it stop.
I tried pills and drugs, but that only made it worse.
My name is Kalen.
Dylan.
Matt.
Dawson.
Gary.
Chris.
And I suffer from...
I suffer from
RCS. Restless cock syndrome.
People think RCS is a joke.
They laugh when they hear what it stands for.
What they don't hear is the crying I do at night, knowing tomorrow will be another waking nightmare.
I can't live like this anymore. But now I know there's help.
Hi, I'm Dr. Drew, and I've helped countless men who have suffered from RCS, Restless Cock Syndrome. It's not a joke. It is a serious condition that affects 3.8 billion men, and they suffer each and every day. You are not alone. You are not a monster. Call your doctor now and set up help. You can get it to stop. You can tell it no. You can take back control. Call 1-800-223-2625. Again, that's 800-223-2625 and get help today.
So,
Dr. Drew is not a real doctor. I'm telling you right now, I suspect him.
How dare you? So we all know that's a thing. Well, guess what? There are now reports, or I guess to be more accurate, that one man after receiving the COVID-19 vaccine has reported restless anus syndrome. The New York Post reports that this newly published medical report by doctors in Japan have revealed this mysterious condition associated with the disease. Its name is likened to the more commonly discussed restless leg syndrome. We talked about restless cock syndrome, and describes the 77-year-old patient. He recently was checked out of Tokyo Medical University Hospital following a 21-day stay while ill with COVID. Excuse me, not the vaccine, the illness. But despite having fully recovered, he returned to report uncomfortable new symptoms. He told the physician he'd been suffering deep anal discomfort in the area between his anus and his genitals. Is that the taint?
That's restless taint syndrome. That guy's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he doesn't even know what he's diagnosing. It prompted him with the essential urge to move his bowels, which gave him no relief, according to the paper.
This? I bet the Japanese don't even have a name for taint.
That's
I feel like
true.
they're too cultured for that. That's us, right?
Yeah.
We invented a name for a part that doesn't really exist.
Right.
It's literally like saying, I got to name the piece of skin between my elbow and my wrist. That's not that. I mean, it's your forearm, but it's your skin.
Taint the elbow, taint the wrist.
It's like
taint this and taint that.
This is mid thigh to upper thigh.
Right.
There is no. That's just skin there. It's just your nutsack to your anus. But we named it a taint. I bet they don't have. They're too cultured for that.
Yeah, look up taint in Japanese
One
and see
second.
if that exists.
I bet it doesn't exist in Japan.
While Gina's looking that up, I will tell you 100% seriously, if you've ever gotten like a CT scan contrast injected into you, it's the weirdest fucking thing. And everyone who's done it knows. It gives you pins and needles on your fucking taint.
Oh,
yeah.
It makes you, when I did something like a barium flush, it makes you have to feel like you're peeing.
No, not barium.
Okay.
No, but specifically, this is not what you drink. This is the injection for contrast for a CT scan. It gives you. They're like, now it may feel a little painful in your groin area. It's fucking pins and needles on your taint for like a good 20 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. I just put in here Japanese word for taint, and I'm going to turn this volume up, and apparently this is how you say it.
Yogore. Yogore.
Yogore.
Yogore.
Yogore.
But do you think it means taint the body part or the verb? You're tainted
such
this
white
conversation.
trash.
I know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
thank you.
It's a real
God,
thing.
Lampanelli's
She's
here.
so smart, Harvard educated. Not really.
I'm tainting the conversation by even talking about this.
believe you might
Just
be.
forget it. There's no word for taint. Adam, you're right.
Max Apatow you can look.
Tony Grundle.
Right.
Well, what if we got the guy with the restless anus syndrome together with the restless cock syndrome? Maybe we'd have a roller skate and a key situation, like almost literally.
In all seriousness, put in perineum.
Oh, yeah, that's
See
a
if
word.
there's a Japanese word for that.
Okay, 1 second. Perineum.
What does the show become?
It really helps
Japanese.
mankind, doesn't it?
Okay.
Perineum is the skin bridge, sort of below your sack, right? But under your
the taint.
tongue,
No, it's a
too.
taint.
I think
isn't
it's
it?
any connective skin area.
Thank you, Max Bada, because you have a perineum under your tongue, too, I think.
Yeah.
All right,
Yep.
this is what we have for perineum.
Ain.
Yeah.
Ain.
They're cute.
Yeah.
Is there a tongue perineum, too?
Underneath, I
I'm
think.
only seeing the area between the anus.
Google
and the
me
stomach.
right.
Is this a tongue
I
perineum?
hope there's not one on
Yeah.
the
Yes,
tongue.
I think
It's
it's
the connective.
I think
Yeah.
it's the connection between your
Look up
tongue and your palate.
Episiotomy.
I can't spell that.
Wow.
Oh, I know someone who did a home episiotomy when they had a home
By
birth.
accident?
Home birth.
Oh, God.
Really?
Anyway, yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to do it, right?
No. I mean, not with the advent of hospitals and
If you're having a home
nurses and
birth and like
trained
a
staff.
doula and a scissors, I don't know.
Home.
It's the worst.
I had a friend who like
Hippies.
had the crazy mom who wanted to do the home nurse or the wife, the midwife, and because the child needed, whatever the bathtub and
Yes.
and the sanctity of it and the tranquility
Yeah, the
and
kiddie
the thing
pool.
and the blah blah blah. Couple things went wrong, 3 days in the hospital. It's like you could have had half a day in the hospital,
Yeah.
but you have 3 days in the hospital because you're trying to do this fucking Heath kit. It's a deep cut, but it was a kit for the day where like you could buy a clock radio or you could build your own at home with a Heath kit. And it was like, why wouldn't you buy one? But anyway, you're trying to go full Heath kit and do it in your own tub. Things go south, and now everyone's in the hospital for 4 days.
Right. And those same people often make...
Pardon me.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of frenulum versus perineum.
Wait, which one's the frenulum?
That's under your tongue.
Right.
That's your tongue, and the frenulum's under your tongue, and the perineum is under your ball
But isn't the
sack.
frenulum of the part the hangy part of your balls behind the balls?
To me, it has
The
many
line?
applications, but
It's the perineum is the space between the anus and scrotum.
Yeah, but the frenulum's like the line.
Frenulum's under
holder
your tongue.
Frenulum
thing.
is on your tongue.
Oh, so
perineum
is there a ball sack frenulum?
Yeah, I thought that was
Google
the,
me right.
Please do.
All right, sorry.
What are we talking about? Oh, those same hippies that have home births also make placenta smoothies afterwards.
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause
really?
You're supposed to eat it, drink it. Brian.
No, we didn't do that, but
Okay.
I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a ball sack frenulum as well.
I knew
just
it.
for
It's the back.
Shits and
It
giggles.
looks like
Yes.
your tongue frenulum.
People cook with the blood.
Oh, also where the foreskin meets the underside of the penis. There's an.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime there's a little sail in between two parts, that's the frenulum. Sorry.
Got it. Sorry,
All
I
right.
just wanted to make sure I was with you on the foreskin part. Oh, so
Well, what would you Jews know about a foreskin?
that's what I'm saying.
Right.
And that's the other thing I don't understand when you're a mohel. I still don't know what you're cutting. You know, like you
got to watch more European porn. It's all laid out.
Are you trimming like the whole top? Like, I mean, not the top, but the part right under the
I
head?
would say
That's what I'm saying.
I would say the average length, although it's a pretty small peckaroo.
Yeah, when you're 11 days old.
Catch them early, but seems like there's it's medical, so it's all millimeters.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go the average amount of skin they pull off could be about 8
Picture a wedding ring.
Okay.
7 or 8. No, maybe more. I feel like, because if you see that, not that I study newborn cock, but I'm aware of it.
Well, it makes a good eye serum.
I dabble. It seems like the foreskin is further along than the rest of the penis.
That makes sense.
Later, when they get a little older, it
Right.
seems like the rest of the cock catches up.
Well, and we've talked about that very expensive eye serum, foreskin cream that they
Really? Oh,
sell.
really?
Yeah, like it was like at Kitson and like on Melrose.
Yeah.
the
I'll
really
get some
expensive
foreskin
boutiques.
cream. Cheap.
Yeah, if you forget the name and have to describe it to them, that's not good.
You know, with the babies, with the foreskin.
That would be
stop
actually a
talking.
good business for me to start. Cock cream, and just has many, many uses. I
Yes.
feel like I'm an entrepreneur.
Yes, and it smells like shit.
Yeah.
And I've put it on my eyes, but boy, if those bags
Wait,
didn't
you
disappear.
really put it on?
Yeah, because I wanted to sample it.
Dude, you're brave.
Yeah, it was pretty gross, but it fucking worked.
My turn too today.
So there's a little irony in the news when it comes to anyone refusing a COVID vaccine due to religious reasons, because Fox News reports that the Vatican will be requiring employees to get vaccinated or submit to regular testing starting now. There's no exemption at the moment, and those without proof of vaccination or a negative test will be considered unjustly absent.
Excommunicated.
Yeah, they won't be
Wow.
paid. Pope Francis was vaccinated in January. He's advocated for Roman Catholics to get it. He calls it a moral duty. Earlier this month, the Pope said he didn't understand why some higher-ups in the church don't want the vaccine. He says that humanity has a history of friendship with vaccines.
Agreed. How long is the average foreskin that's removed? 5 millimeter? It's got to be in millimeters. No, centimeters. No, millimeters.
Are you talking about baby foreskin or man foreskin?
Yeah. The worst group ever. Like, all the groups I don't like.
Yep.
The foreskin restoration, adult males.
Yep.
Like,
terrible.
They get out of the blocks with, I was butchered.
Yeah.
You were butchered as a... Talk to anyone who's survived war atrocities and tell me what this thing you define as butchery
Female genital
was.
mutilation.
Right.
And then part 2 is the restoration part.
Yeah, how's that work?
Clamps,
Lots of
weights,
stretching.
like stretching. Basically what you do with your earlobes when you
the gauge?
put the gauge in there. We do that with the honker.
By the way, if, because there's been a little bit of talk of Andy converting, I don't care. Actually, it'd be way more of a pain in the ass for me, so I'm against it. But as an adult, you have to go through, from what I understand, you have to go through another circumcision. Or if you're not circumcised, you have to have.
Wait, what do you mean another?
Well, I don't know. I don't really know how that works. But if you're not circumcised at all, you have to have a full-on operation as an adult.
I mean, and that's supposed to be so painful as an adult.
Fuck yeah.
I've heard. Okay.
Tell me.
I'm going to go ahead and say no such thing as a second circumcision.
They can't take a little off the top?
They can't. That's not going to work. It's not an acrylic nail.
Don't have him convert. That's just,
I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
It's such a pain in the ass.
It's so stupid.
I
agree.
don't. I've had a few friends, or I've like a few of these stories. I don't think there's a circumcision
Yes,
involved.
I know 2 women that their husbands converted, and I guess they weren't circumcised, and they had to have an operation in the hospital
to grow their nose. Or to tighten up the wallet.
to make their horns bigger.
Isn't it a weird contradiction with the Jews can't have body modifications,
That's
right?
true.
Tattoos are, but circumcision is somehow part of the religion?
Yeah.
More homework for you, Max.
I'm
Bada.
saying that there are 2 ritual requirements. A male convert must undergo circumcision. If they are already circumcised, a single drop of blood is drawn as a symbolic
Oh, that's way
circumcision.
easier.
What is this?
Yeah, the
prick
convert
your
must
prick.
undergo.
And is that just
Jewish ritual
standard
bath.
fare? Or there's no version where they can look the other way on the prick?
Yeah.
A single drop of blood.
What would be the advantages,
Yeah.
other than causing him huge pain,
Yeah.
which is fun? What is the advantage to him converting? Because don't the kids have to take the mom's religion?
Yeah, and we don't have any kids, so who cares?
Are you planning on squeezing any out?
Oh, I think that ship has sailed.
Really? How
I
old
think
are you?
I'm elderly.
Oh, okay.
I think
good.
I'm very, very
I don't
barren.
think you are, but okay.
Oh, God bless you.
Powdered eggs.
Exactly. In fact, I just went to the gynecologist this morning because I've been talking about ever since I got vaccinated, my period is every 3 weeks instead of every, 4 to 5 weeks. And I've heard there's a link there. Right. And I was like so excited to tell my gynecologist today. And she's just kind of like looking at me and I'm like, I cracked the case. And she goes, yeah. There's some anecdotal studies about that, and we're not totally sure. But also at your age,
How old are you?
the body does start changing. I was like, oh, fuck you!
Yeah.
I don't like it.
This is vaccine related.
You think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
That has nothing to do with
Oh,
your
that's so
You're gonna,
sweet.
He's gonna card me
Never
next.
change.
God
Yeah.
bless
It's
you.
literally though the most fun when your period stopped, dude.
Oh, I can't
I haven't had
wait.
one for like 12 years. When I got weight loss surgery, they fucking skidded to a halt. Never again. So I'm beautiful, skinny, and bloodless, bitch.
That is awesome.
I used to
It's your new
bleed like
special. It's your
like a
comeback.
stuck pig. Not anymore. This is Lisa Lampanelli for No Periods. It's the fucking best.
Oh, I bet.
Where do they, for the single drop of blood?
Here we
Where
go.
do they draw the single drop from?
From your dick. I think that's what he was implying, right?
But are you asking
Seriously.
what part of the dick?
That's the implication.
And do you have to be?
No, it says
Why not a
you get a
thumb?
circumcision or a single drop of blood, but it's not.
I
it's
just
not
assumed
known.
it was dick blood.
Well,
That's what I was
my
thinking.
Yeah.
dick doesn't have a lot of
Terrible
blood to
porno.
spare.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't want to be down. You know, I don't know exactly how it works, but I feel like I don't want to be down blood
Chris,
in that
does it
particular
say?
part of my body. And then
I'm looking.
I mean, that's
Do a
not
video
fair. That's you either have a massive, like, stay for a week in the hospital operation, or you prick your finger. I don't think so.
yeah, we'll figure it out.
It
yeah.
is dick blood.
Dick
Told
blood.
ya.
Yeah.
I know dick blood when I see
What?
it.
And there's adult mohels that are like, oh, good day. I mean, like, that's kind of weird with a 41-year-old guy, you know,
Yeah.
get your dick out and the relatives are around
Yeah.
and Art's
I don't
Deli's
think it's the
catered.
same.
Yeah, no,
That's
I don't
what
think
you're
it's a celebration. No, I
Okay,
think they should
maybe
just,
not.
They should just make the wife do it. That'd be
Oh, by the way,
Seriously.
you want to talk about negotiating? Like, when I showed up to that guy's office and we closed the door, I'd be like, look, there's two people in this room. One of them doesn't want to see my cock. The other one doesn't want a fucking spear shoved into it. Now, I got fucking $70 in my pocket right now. Right now.
We can both walk away.
Fucking
I can keep a secret. How about you?
back of the left earlobe. No one's going to be the wiser. We'll get our pound of flesh, but we're not going into the dork. You don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. I haven't showered in 2 days. I'm fresh from the gym. God's not watching.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
There's probably a fair amount
There's
of negotiating.
gotta be that, right?
That absolutely makes sense. Have you ever been to a bris?
Thank God, no.
It is.
Oh man.
No, I luckily don't like Jews. So it's very,
No,
I've never been
works
invited.
out.
You've been saved because there is literally no occasion we won't bring food. So you're
Yeah.
sitting next to this crying baby that's getting like wine like dripped on his gums
Yes,
with
yes.
a fucking scissors and the whole thing, and then like a nice white fish salad and some challah.
All right, let's bring it home.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Well, last but not least, there's Trico. Over a century ago, Trico was the first to make wiper blades. They've been a step ahead of Mother Nature ever since. Trico engineers, they study every specific driving condition, and they figure out how it all works, and they stay ahead of Mother Nature. Whatever the weather, Trico wipers maintain maximum windshield contact. That's what it's about, especially when it's hot out here. I use them on my car, and I use them most of the time just to spray the windshield and clean it off, but it does a great job of squeegeing that thing clean. No matter what your driving habits, you'll always find the right wiper blade for your vehicle. We all use them here. Brian talked to his uncle,
That's right,
who's
my
the
uncle,
mechanic,
car
and he
guy.
said, get Trico. The future of wipers, by the way, since 1917, over 100 years. To find a store near you and see the latest offers, visit TricoCatsAndDogs.com. That is TricoCatsAndDogs.com.
An Asian tourist who went missing in Iceland was found in her own search party after she failed to recognize her own description released by the police.
Was she drunk too?
That's a good question.
I know.
I wonder if this is like a pattern, like if his wife plans a surprise party and he walks in the front door and everyone else yells surprise and he goes, oh, let me hide behind the sofa.